achieved.
Whoo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Studio de Jefre de Quarantine on depends. Either a terrible day or a glorious day for Dallas Cowboys Nation. A loss to Washington, which I told you was going to happen, is now behind us. And now, to me, the most interesting thing to talk about is my dog CD might make an appearance in this video because he's currently licking me. Chill out, bro. Is okay. Now what? Could this team, in theory, still win the NFC East and go to the postseason? Sure. I am normally a get in the tournament and see what happens guy, but with no Tyron Smith and no Lyle Collins returning this year, and without Dak Prescott, it's not, okay? It's not. Look, I am a percentages guy. The percentage is not zero if you make the postseason that you would win the Super Bowl, but it is very low, and it's not going to happen. So we're going to forget all about that dream, and we're going to focus on what matters. Somebody asked me on Twitter today at JC1053, said, okay, you're the GM. What are you doing with the Cowboys right now? What's your plan to fix the team? So I thought about it for a minute, and here's what I've come to. This is what time it is. This is what time it is for the Cowboys. It's trade time. It's time to get busy. So right now, as it stands, when the Cowboys get to the draft, they're going to have 9 draft picks. They've got an extra 3rd rounder for Byron, an extra 4th rounder from Quinn, an extra 5th and 6th from, dang it, come on, top of my head. The 6th, I think, is Heath. The 5th is, who else did they lose? Eeny, meeny, miny, Randall Cobb. So they got 4 extra picks there. They have their own 1st, their own 2nd, their own 3rd, a 3rd round comp, their 4th round pick, a 4th round comp, their 5th round pick. Not a 5th round pick, but they do have a 5th round comp, 6th rounder, I believe, and then a 6th round comp. So anyway, they got 9 picks right now. My goal, if I were the Cowboys, is to turn my 9 picks into 11 or 12 picks. That's my goal, because what this team desperately needs is young players who don't make a lot of money against the salary cap that can help you play football, right? So you're going to look at your roster right this second. And anybody who is on the last year of a contract, I'm trying to trade. So guys who have no value, so don't worry about it. Nobody's going to trade for Don Terry Poe. Nobody's going to trade for Daryl Worley. Forget them. But would anybody give me like a conditional pick for Noah Brown? Probably not, but he's going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. So if somebody wants it, come get it. Whatever. 7th round pick, yours. Jordan Lewis. Anybody interested in Jordan Lewis? Can I get a day 3 pick? If so, give it to me. He's yours. Everson Griffen. He started off the year awful. You know that I know that because I'm the one who said it, and he got really mad at me. He's been better the last 2 weeks. Not good, but better. Is there anybody in the NFL that's going to look at that and say, well, you know, if you put him back where he was comfortable, we liked him a year ago, have a 6th or 7th round pick. I'll take it. He's yours. Go. Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods has been a solid starter for his entire career, and he's in the last year of his deal. If your plan is not to re-sign him and you don't think you're going to get him at a reasonable amount, Xavier Woods, whatever I can get. See ya. Cheeto, same thing. If you're not planning on extending Cheeto, which the fact that he's into his 4th year and you haven't done it yet tells me you're probably not planning to extend him, what can I get? See ya. Reggie Robinson, time to play football, baby. And Aldon Smith. Now, he's the interesting one because Aldon Smith has been good. Aldon Smith at the end of the year, if he ends up with 10 or so sacks for the season, will get a nice contract from somebody, which would give you a comp pick, but you'd have to wait a year for it. So if I could find a team like Seattle who desperately needs help rushing the passer off the edge, and I could get Seattle to give me a 4th round pick, maybe 5 is more reasonable, but maybe a 4, Let's go. Stack them up. This team should be dealing at the deadline. They should be dealing anybody that they can. Problem is that, as you've heard these names that I'm going through, there's not a lot of value in those names. But if that can turn into 3 or 4 late draft picks, all I want right now is darts to throw at this board. I want to end up with 12 darts, 13 darts, to where I can pick 8 or 9 defensive players, and I need 3 of you to hit. You know, maybe I could hit a bullseye and a couple of, not the bullseye, but the outer ring there, and then one that hit a 6 and one that hit a 9. I just need a whole bunch of darts to throw at this board, because there's a chance your offense is going to be awesome next year still. If Dak comes back healthy, Tyron and Lyle come back healthy, you're balling on offense. Don't even worry about it. But this defense is atrocious, and I got to figure it out, and it's going to take a lot of new bodies to try to figure that out. So that's my plan. And I will say this, my plan would also involve after 2021, if I'm fixing this team. I'm finding my way out of the Aldon Smith contract and the Zeke contract. You're going to eat a lot of money, but you'll save a little bit. I'm getting out of those contracts. Now, that's if you put me in charge. I'm not in charge, and those 2 guys sell a lot of jerseys. They're super popular, so they'll probably stick around longer than that. And finally, here's my final rebuilding thing. If the Cowboys are bad enough to have a top 2 pick, and they could be, I doubt it. Well, they could be. I would pick a quarterback. And I have to throw out all my caveats here, because I'm not picking a quarterback because I don't think Dak is good. I think Dak is very good. I think you have a top 10 quarterback in the league. But a top 10 quarterback in the league coming off of his surgery at $40 million per versus, this is the important part, not anybody on a rookie deal. I'm not the guy who says, oh, forget that. I'm not trying to get worse at quarterback. I think really highly of Trevor Lawrence at Clemson and Justin Fields at Ohio State as quarterback prospects. I think there is potential for either of them to become better than Dak Prescott. Now, that's a high bar. A lot of you don't think it is, but it's a high bar. And there's a chance you miss. But, you know, if you miss, you'll feel stupid. But you'll know if you missed in 2 or 3 years after you find out if your quarterback's going to be really good, and you'll have $30 million extra to play with every year, which if you're the Ravens, that turns into let's trade for Marcus Peters, let's trade for Calais Campbell, let's add, I'm forgetting who the other piece, but essentially 3 Pro Bowl-ish level players in addition to what you already had, and you would be tagging and trading Dak, so you'd have more draft picks there to add more players. And all of that's for nothing if the quarterback that you pick isn't going to turn out to be a good quarterback, because your bad quarterback's just going to lose a bunch of football games. So that plan is very dependent on Lawrence and or Fields turning into a good NFL quarterback. But right now, what I know of those guys, I would bet on them. So if I had a top 2 pick, I would trade Dak, because I think this team is just in such a bad spot cap-wise, the contracts they're stuck in, the level of players that they don't have on defense, that they need a lot of help. If I did not have a top 2 pick, then I would immediately extend Dak. We would go play football, and I'd be very happy, because I would know that I've got a good quarterback for a long time, and we'd get to work surrounding our good quarterback. And you could trade down from, if you have like the 6th or 7th pick, trade down a little bit. Look it up. Trade downs work a lot better than trade ups. Trade ups work sometimes. Julio Jones. But a lot of times you trade up and you're wrong about how good that player is, and there's more. Look, you just darts to throw at the board in the draft are a good thing. So that's that. That's me rebuilding the Cowboys. Now, questions from the people. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Sure. Would you keep McCarthy or look for a new head coach in 2021? That's Bernardo. I would keep McCarthy. I've got literally no problems with McCarthy. Right now you have bad football players that are mad and sad because they're bad, so they're not glad. That's where you are. You have bad football players. And because they're losing, their hearts aren't all the way in it. You guys saw Andy Dalton get destroyed and almost die on the field, and no Cowboy player push, shove, or talk crap to anybody. That's a team that's not really in this together. They're just out there playing. And you can blame the head coach for that if you want to. I blame the individuals. Sorry you're not winning. Do your job. Try hard. do it. Does Will McClay have a job after the season? Talent evaluation and roster building grade for the last 5 seasons. Not great. They were on a pretty good run of drafting. They've always been averse to big money free agency because they've paid money to their own guys. I think this last year's draft class is going to turn out well. They just need to string together another one, and they need to have a better free agency if they can find any money to use in free agency. They'll have to do that this year. There's going to be a lot of pressure on their team building this offseason. But with me, McClay's safe for another year. Mike McCarthy is safe for another year. Brian, Team Tank and the benefit of letting Dak get paid by a team that's competitive, allowing us to take Fields or Sunshine and have money to rebuild this defense. We just did that, basically. Allen, trade value of Everson Griffen, Dontari Poe, and Aldon Smith. Just kind of did that, too. Daniel, the top 10 defensive players in the upcoming draft. LOL. I'll be doing a lot of the draft stuff, and I'll probably start sooner than I planned, probably here in a week or two. And you can find it right here. YouTube.com/Jeff Kavanaugh, 1053thefan.com. Because on radio, you want things that have mass appeal. So we'll talk about the draft, but you don't want to be you want everyone in DFW that's listening to sports radio to tune in and be interested in your topic. So check here. There'll be a lot of draft content right here. Talk about an actual way to fix things on defense, if at all possible. Can't blame coaching for the way these guys are playing. We see there's a talent issue. Ask why the team and coaches don't see it. That's from Danny. Just need a lot of draft picks. And big fella, who's some of the top DBs, D tackles, and O tackles coming out this year in the draft. I'm on it. I'll have all that for you soon. So leave in the comments what you want to talk about tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, checking things out. I love you. Hit like, hit subscribe, turn on the notifications. 21.9% right now, trying to get to 22 in honor of Emmett. Join the Noti gang. I love you. Bye.